Isa Smiler was somewhat overlooked in the early 1950s. People paid much more attention to his colleagues AQIATTUSUK and Johnny INUKJUAK in the early years because they were heavily promoted by James Houston. But in the fullness of time, Isa Smiler has come to be recognized as one of the great masters of early INUKJUAK sculpture. And we consider this particular standing mother and child to be one of his greatest masterpieces. It's carved with fullness and robustness, but also a remarkable degree of sensitivity. The faces of both the mother and the child are just wonderfully beautiful. They're delicate features, and in the case of the child, even quite expressive. As was typical in the early years in INUKJUAK, there's just a touch of ivory detailing in the mouth and the toggle, and also there are remnants of bits of soap inlay, which was also typical of work from the early 1950s. To me, one of the most remarkable things about this work is the lifelike quality of the stance, the human figure, and the clothing. Early works by Isa Smiler tend to be rather more rustic, and this is just detailed and proportioned so elegantly. If you look at the sculpture from the side, you can see just the slight forward lean of the mother trying to balance herself against the weight of the child on her back. We just love the expression, the frowning expression of the child, and probably a little boy on the back who's bored and maybe feeling a bit restless. Also, one of the delicate features of the sculpture is the beautiful plating on the back of the hair on the back of the mother's head. All around this sculpture, you just get this beautiful sense of form and balance. It's really one of the great masterpieces of early 50s INUKJUAK sculpture. You just love the delicacy of the mother's nose and her eyebrows. And the same thing, you see the same sense of delicacy in the face of the child. And that's also unusual, because usually in this early period, artists would lavish a certain amount of attention perhaps on the face of the mother, but sometimes the children's faces are much more sketchy in appearance. They're almost an afterthought with far fewer details, but here the child is every bit as elegantly and beautifully carved as the head and face of the mother.